カクタスリーグでの最終戦にドジャース佐々木朗希投手が先発し、4回被安打1と完璧に相手打線を抑え込み、無事にメジャー昇格を確定させました。対戦相手のガーディアンズは前回登板した佐々木朗希投手の内容に対策を打ち、早いカウントでのヒッティングを試みましたが、それでも終わってみれば二塁ベースすら踏ませない圧巻の投球でガーディアンズ打線を完璧に封じました。今日の試合後の現地放送の様子を翻訳してお届けいたします。
Welcome inside our Sportsnet LA studio, joined today by Jerry Hairston Jr. That is a wrap for the Dodgers in Arizona as spring training at Camelback Ranch officially came to a close just moments ago. Jerry, the Dodgers beating the Guardians thanks to 13 walks by Guardians pitchers, but Roki Sasaki looked outstanding in his final tune-up.
Everybody in the building was excited about the Dodgers winning except the cameraman back there. He is a Guardians fan. Dodgers swung the bats well. Yes, they drew their walks, but the most important thing, Sasaki looked locked in.
All right, Dodgers finish up Cactus League play 12-8. As for that man, Roki Sasaki, 4 scoreless innings today, and afterwards he talked about it with Kirsten Watson and the media.
Roki, just to have your final tune-up of spring, how did it feel out there, and are you feeling ready for what could be your Major League debut in Tokyo?
そうですね、前回よりも、なんて思うようにいかなかったところもありますし、自分の悪い癖だってそういうのも出たので、逆にシーズン開幕前にそういったところが今のうちにこう悪いところが出てくれてよかったなと思っています。
How do you just go about that? What is the priority for you, or what is the first step in which you kind of want to address that?
基本的には下半身の使い方だと思うんですけど、なんていうんですかね、やってきた試合に向けて準備してきたことは前回と変わらなかったので、やることは変えずに、ただホームの意識の中で、ちょっとしたズレだったり、なんていうんですかね、そういったところを直していきたいなと思っています。
How excited are you for the next stage of your career, and how fortunate do you feel that it gets to happen to start off in Japan?
日本の前にまずメジャーで、なんていうんですかね、投げれたら嬉しいですし、そこで活躍するためにやってきたので、すごく興奮しますし、それをまた東京で迎えられるのは特別というかなかなかないことだと思うので、本当に。ここまで怪我なく、やってきてこれてよかったなと思ってます。
And his opportunity to pitch back home in Japan, Game 2 of the 162-game season there in Tokyo. Jerry, today 4 more scoreless innings from Roki. Just that one base hit allowed was really an excuse-me check swing single. What did you see from Roki?
Well, he was dominant. I really am impressed how sharp he's been in camp. We're going to the K's and break down. Remember, when you're a starting pitcher in the big leagues, yes, it helps to have 95 to 99 miles an hour, but you got to be able to locate it. Also helps to have breaking stuff as well. Great fastball command, outer third. Nothing in the middle of the plate gets weak contact. We talked about that splitter. How about that thing? Nasty, out of the hand. It looks like a fastball. That's where you're getting swing and miss and chase. How about the elevated fastball at 96 miles an hour? Notice, nothing in the middle of the plate for hitters to square up. Four-seam fastball, outer third, down and away. Oh, by the way, he's a pretty good athlete. Taking himself as well. One more time, that splitter. Darting right at the knees. Great movement. Keeps it a strike. Once again, tying up the left-handed hitter. Great play by Bodie. Double play ball. But once again, when you're a guy that throws 96 to 100 miles an hour, yes, that is a great tool. But big league hitters can time a bullet. If it's in the middle of the plate, they're going to square up. What you also like, he's getting soft contact. That helps you to be efficient. He got that today, and he's going to be starting Game 2. He'll be locked in.
He finishes his spring with 7 scoreless innings for the Dodgers. They win it today over the Guardians 10-4 to finish spring 12-8. Let's head back to Camelback Ranch and hear from Dave Roberts with Kirsten.
Dave, let's start with Roki Sasaki, his final outing of the Cactus League. How impressive was he just to get through those 4 innings?
You know, it was really good. I think obviously with Roki, he's probably the most anticipated player, certainly in our camp, and he just really shined in this camp, and we got him through 4 innings today. He did a 5th up in the pen, so kind of the innings, the ups, the pitch count, all that stuff, we feel good. I think he's calibrating, learning, understanding Major League hitters, and the confidence that his stuff does play here, so couldn't be more thrilled for him.
Do you think he's ready for that next step of making his Major League debut?
I do, and it's coming very soon.
All right, Dave. Well, obviously we saw how the game ended with just the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, how you set up the bullpen. Is that a preview of what we could be seeing come regular season?
I think so. You know, I'm going to stand firm on Tanner's going to finish a lot of the games, most of the games. And then I think with, you know, Blake and Kirby, they're sort of interchangeable with Vesia and Banda and those guys. So there's a lot of high leverage, good arms. And obviously Kasperius pitched on the backfield today, pitched really well with Banda. So not sure about how we're going to use those guys, but they'll be ready.
And then the at-bats, just the quality you saw today and how ready are these guys for the regular season?
They're ready. And I thought, to their credit, they did a good job of staying interested. I think that everyone's got one foot on the airplane ready for Tokyo, but to still stay focused and still take good at-bats, take their walks. I think we had 13 walks today, so guys showed good plate discipline, so we're ready to go.
All right, now are you ready? 11 hours, Tokyo, here we come.
Here we come. Ready or not.
Dave, congrats on this Cactus League, this win today, and let's see what happens this regular season.
All right, thanks, Kirsten.
All right, thank you very much, Kirsten and Doc. One more sleep for the Dodgers before they hop on that plane for Tokyo. Final game of Cactus League play today at Camelback Ranch with Roki Sasaki, his first start of Cactus League play, and top of the first inning. Ground ball to the right side, and he's getting over to first base.
Love that. Mark Pryor is very pleased there. PFP completing that, getting over. Freddie Freeman, nice feed. Easy out.
Scoreless first inning on just 10 pitches. We go to the bottom of the first. This was a long half of an inning. Tommy Tanks, Jerry, second batter of the game.
I love the swing here. We know he's got thumped from the right side. Gets a pitch he can handle, drives it out of the ballpark. Tommy Tanks, for a reason, going big fly.
Saw that a lot last year after being traded over from the Cardinals, doing damage from the right side. 2-0 Dodgers. They are far from done. Will Smith up there with 2 down. Good to see him swinging the bat well.
As he is key to this lineup, especially in the middle of plate. Hopefully he can repeat the first half, the second half this season. Good to see him swing the bat.
Max Muncy comes to the plate. And this one is going to be off the wall to knock in 2.
What I like about this ball is squared up, but this pitch is down. That means he recognized that pitch out of the hand. It was a breaking ball. Max stays with it, drives it off the wall.
There's a walkathon in the first inning. Guardians pitchers couldn't throw strikes. Shohei Ohtani with the bases loaded after a pair of walks. Walks on 4 pitches, makes it 5-0. Tommy Edman, that's ball 8, 6-0. 6-0 after 1 inning. Top 2, Sasaki, after sitting in the dugout for a long time, looks unaffected.
And that's what I wanted to see. He spent an awful long time in between this inning here, but is able to come out, look sharp.
Put up another 0. Bottom 2, Andy Pages. Bases loaded, 2 outs with a base hit.
Great job of staying on that breaking ball down, staying square with his swing. Barreling up.
8-0 Dodgers.
Don't get hurt. Don't get hurt.
Through 2 innings. Back to Roki in the 3rd. Facing Jonathan Rodriguez, and here's that comebacker again. Bouncing off the mound.
Love that. Nothing in the middle of the plate. Soft contact.
You don't often see the one unassisted. Andy Pages, this is a really nice play in center.
It is. This ball slicing away from him, but he got a really good jump off the bat and make the play.
Take another look at Pages, who's going to be in the mix to getting some starts in center field for the Dodgers. Tyler Freeman called strike 3.
Love that pitch there. That split.
Dodgers are up 8-0. Kike Hernandez at the plate. Does not want to be called out on strikes there, so, you know, it's like, I'm going to challenge that.
Might as well.
And it is a ball.
The abs system. And it's not 7-minute abs.
And then he bounces one into right field, so it pays off.
Where was this when I was playing, John? I would have been a 300 hitter. Oh, let's not get crazy.
Yeah, let's not. Maybe 260.
Possible.
Top 4, Roki to Will Brennan. David Bodie to second. Double play ball.
Really good play right there. Tagging first base and then throwing this ball inside. That's a tough angle. CT making the tag.
4 innings in the books for Roki on just 41 pitches. Then we heard Dave Roberts say he would go to the bullpen and throw some more. Bottom 5, runners in scoring position for Chris Newell. Brings one in to make it 10-0.
Good swing there, gets rewarded. Sacrifice fly.
Top of the 6th, though, the shutout is spoiled. Landon Knack comes into the game. Second inning of work, actually, and gives up RBI triple. Makes it 10-1.
Well, spring training, you want to make sure Cleveland at least gets a run across. Give them some confidence heading into the regular season.
Next batter, Ralphie Velasquez. It's going to be deep enough. Score the run to make it 10-2, Dodgers. Still in control of this game, Jerry, in case you were getting nervous.
Not really.
Top of the 7th, Blake Trinan pitching to Guy Lipscomb. This one's going to be an RBI double to make it 10-3.
Pretty good job keeping his hands inside the baseball here. This cutter is up and in. He's able to barrel it. You see the velocity is not there for Blake Trinan. I think he's just getting his work in. He's not trying to air it out. Looking for movement and soft contact.
Nice play by Hunter Fiducia, but then the runner who was on second just kept on circling the bag at third and crash lands into home, but he's safe. Makes it 10-4. Trinan does get a strikeout of Alex Mooney to end the inning. Top of the 8th inning, Kirby Yates facing Khalil Watson.
Any relation to Randy?
Mr. Randy Watson. Brendan Neek comes in. Bases loaded, 1 out. He's going to get the double play.
It's a pretty good play. This is a tough play for the second baseman. Going away from the bag, able to come back, make the play.
Dodgers get the win to close out Cactus League play 10-4. The final, Roki Sasaki, who will get the ball for Game 2 in Tokyo. 4 scoreless innings on just the 1 hit. Had a couple strikeouts. Tommy Edman 1 for 2 with his 3rd spring homer, 3 RBIs. Max Muncy reached base all 3 times with a double, 2 walks, 2 RBIs. Kike Hernandez 1 for 1. He walked twice. He scored twice. And then we see Landon Knack there, 2 1/3 innings, 3 runs on 3 hits. So, Jerry, Cactus League play is over for the Dodgers. Tomorrow, the team will leave for that 12-hour flight to Tokyo. They're going to play 2 exhibition games on Saturday our time. The first one at 3 a.m. and then 8 p.m. Saturday night. The regular season games are at 3 a.m. Tuesday and Wednesday against the Chicago Cubs. You can see all of those games right here on Sportsnet LA. Carl's Jr. moments of the game, Jerry. 2 batters into this game. The Dodgers had a 2-0 lead thanks to Tommy Tanks.
It's a fastball up in the zone, and boy, does he tomahawk that thing. Great swing, foot down. He's got light tower power, especially from the right side. Great top hand.
Dodgers put up 6 runs in the first inning. They never looked back, winning it 10-4. Dave Roberts heading into season number 10 as the Dodgers skipper, about to get a much-deserved contract extension. And how about his resume? Dodgers have made the postseason every year under his watch, winning the NL West 8 times. They've had 5 100-win seasons. That 627 win percentage you see up there at the top. But the 4 National League pennants and 2 World Series championships. Dave Roberts has acknowledged that a new deal has been put in place, Jerry. It's going to be announced very soon. It may not be official yet, but he is the perfect skipper for this Dodgers team.
It is. What he does for this organization, not just obviously the big league team, but making sure the young guys are included so when they do come up to the big leagues, they hit the ground running. Great communicator, can deal with superstars, the star players, the everyday players, the guys that come off the bench, can relate to everybody. He was a starter as well. He also came off the bench late in his career. He is a champion as a player, also a 2-time champion as a manager. Really is the perfect guy for this team, not just last few years, but obviously moving forward. Congrats Dave Roberts.
About to become the highest paid manager in Major League Baseball. All right, here are the latest odds to win the World Series from our friends at DraftKings Casino. The Dodgers are the betting favorites at plus 290 or 2.9 to 1. The Braves are next at 7.5 to 1. Rounding out the top 5, Yankees at 8.5 to 1. The Phillies and Mets both at 12 to 1. So with that, it is prediction time. World Series champs, we know this. They have an absolutely star-studded roster. I'm going to begin prediction time, Jerry. I say the Dodgers have 107 wins during the regular season. We remember in 2021, coming off of a World Series championship, there was no World Series hangover. They put up 106 wins at that time. That was the most in franchise history. This year, I think they do one better, 107 wins, and will easily have the 1 seed in home field throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, I like that part. That is the most important part of this, making sure you have that #1 seed heading into the postseason. I do like that number, John. 107 sounds great. I don't like predicting regular season wins because I really don't care. It's all about making sure you capture that #1 seed, whether it takes 107 wins or what I predict, it's going to be 115.
Wait, you don't like to predict regular? You're going 115 wins?
I am going 115 wins because, John, I don't want to put a cap on these guys.
Okay.
Okay. Limitless. Okay. So I'm going 115. I know what the number is. Okay, for the most wins by the 2001 Mariners, it was 116, but they'll get there. Whether it's 115, 107, 108, 151. I don't care. It's the 11 wins, right, John. That's all I care about in the postseason.
All right, so for more on the final day of Camelback Ranch spring training Cactus League play, Dave Roberts spoke to the media about some of the roster news.
You have these 3 guys in Japan. Adam Ungus starting against Yamamoto. What does it say?
Well, I think it's just, I think the thing is that, you know, Imanaga is their ace. And I think that with what Yoshinobu did for us last year and appreciating the fact that we're going back to their home country, it's the perfect story. And to follow up Yoshi with Roki, I think it's just a great story. Yeah.
Did you tell Roki about this? He just confirmed?
He might have already known. But he can keep a secret pretty well.
There's been so much focus on Ohtani obviously going back to Tokyo, but how do you believe these 2 guys feel about going back to the Tokyo Dome to start the first 2 games?
You know, I mean, I can only imagine. I think that there's a lot of excitement, a lot of emotion. You know, these guys grew up in Japan. I'm sure watching the Tokyo Giants in the Tokyo Dome and then playing in the Nihon League, and to now come back to the States and you know, they played there in the Classic, I think, years ago, but to come back for the Dodgers and to pitch against, you know, their teams that they played against, players that they know, and then now you start the regular season there, where I just can't imagine how many eyes are going to be on that series. So it's exciting.
You mentioned last night on a podcast that Dustin May is going to be your 5th starter, and you also mentioned something with Tony. What's going on with Gonsolin?
So Tony had a with his back, because of lifting weights, we had to set him back. So he kind of set him back, you know, we set him back, period. I don't know, really need to specify how long. So he's going to stay here, get on a routine, a 5-day routine as a starter. And I don't know when, you know, it's called contingent on the buildup, when he's ready to kind of join us. And so he's going to stay back. And then Dustin, sort of what we did last year with James Paxton, Dustin will stay back here so he can stay on his regular throwing program.
So what's your plan with Ohtani throwing again?
I don't know exactly. He's been throwing, so he hasn't stopped throwing. But I don't know when he's going to throw his next bullpen.
And you don't know when he's going to be throwing his live hitter, right?
No.
Did you slow him down a little? Or?
We did.
How was his reaction?
His reaction was fine. He understood the process, and like I've said, over the last week, he's ramped up with the hitting and all that stuff, and so to kind of let that part of the process slow down a little bit and not try to intensify both things right now, he was all on board.
On board means he was happy, or he was just trying to understand it?
On board means you understand.
So where are you on the 15-16 split with the roster? We talked about whether it be 16 pitchers, maybe 15 pitchers.
You know what? I don't know. I don't want to go through all the players, but I think it's yeah. I mean, it's one of those two combinations.
Dave, just quickly going back to Tony. Do you think he might have to start the season on the IL or this next week, just staying back?
He'll start on the IL. Yeah. And I'm not sure when his back date is, but if you're talking about, I mean, obviously, he's not going to Tokyo, so the regular season starts and he'll be on the IL then.
Do you decide who will stay here in Arizona?
We have decided, yeah.
So do you have more clarity about that?
Huh?
So do you have any more clarity about who gonna stay?
Yes.
Nothing to announce.
No, I mean, I think that, I mean, if you're going to ask me a specific player, but I think that, you know, I'm not going to go down all 40 guys that are in camp and say who's going and who's not going.
So I'm going to ask him specific player.
Thank you.
Is Haesun going to Tokyo?
He's not going to go. He's going to stay here and continue to log at bats. He is the last 4 days have been really good for him. He looks much more comfortable at bat. The defense has been really good, and it was good to see him in center field. And we feel that it's most important for him to stay here, take at bats, play in games to help him get ready for the season.
Does that mean he's going to start the season at the AAA?
He's going to start the season AAA, yes.
So you got your 1, 2, and your 5. Who's your 3 and 4?
Barry. I mean, you know the starters, so I mean, I don't need to go through. I mean, we still got a ways till we get to Detroit, right? So it's like.
But you have it mapped out already.
Yes.
So that is Yamamoto and Sasaki going to be your starters against Detroit too?
That's what I'm saying. It's like we're still talking through it. So I mean, I think as the calendar. To get through 2 days, which is still, you know, ways away, we've kind of there. Then we get some days here. We got this freeway series, so we got a lot of time.
Was Rojas okay coming out, or that was just
what's that?
Was Rojas okay when he came out? Or?
Yeah, he's fine. He got hit yesterday, and then so he was just kind of. It started to swell up a little bit, but it's a contusion. He's fine.
The rookie got the spot. He on the spot. It's not like he's given because he's.
So you're in the spot.
How proud you are for him?
Very proud of him for a young player to, you know, pitch for the Dodgers. Obviously, he's talented. We're excited to have him, and I think it's going to be great for him. It's great for us. Gives us a great chance to win, and it's great for baseball.
Is Mookie okay?
We got to go, guys.
Mookie's fine. He was a little under the weather today.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Back at the start of spring training, Jerry, we heard Hae-Sung Kim say that his goal was to make the opening day roster for the Dodgers, to be there in Japan playing with his team against the Chicago Cubs. We just heard Dave Roberts say that that's not going to happen. He's not traveling with the team to Japan. He's going to open up the season at AAA Oklahoma City.
Well, listen, obviously he's disappointed. I'm sure he is. He works extremely hard, but at the same time, there is stuff, especially offensively, he had a hard time catching up to velocity. It was apparent this spring training. I think the biggest key is making sure he does not lose confidence. So what they do is make sure he gets enough at-bats at OKC, develop, continue working on that swing change he's worked on the last couple weeks, and then get off to a hot start. He does that, then maybe he comes back to the big leagues. Remember, I always thought it was more difficult as a hitter to make that transition to the big leagues than as a pitcher. He's found that out. Again, velocity in the big leagues is different, but hopefully the talent is there, the want-to is there. He's a really good defender, short, second, and sometimes the outfield, but hopefully he gets things rectified down at OKC.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be difficult for him just dealing with the velocity for the first time, but also dealing with a swing change during the spring. We will see Hae-Sung Kim at some point here in 2025. When spring training began February 10th, Jerry, we had a small number of questions to answer. We've got some answers now, including Dustin May being named the Dodgers' 5th starter.
Good to see Dustin May back healthy again. I love the movement on his fastball. The breaking stuff is there. The confidence is there. Hopefully he really takes that 5th spot and runs with it, because we know the want-to is there, and hopefully he takes advantage of it. To have Dustin May, a young guy, slotted as your 5th starter with all the talent ahead of him, I think is going to benefit him.
He has come a long way to get back to this point. This has to feel awfully good for him. Tony Gonsolin, unfortunately, suffered a bit of a back injury in the weight room, so that also helped Dustin May's cause to being that 5th starter. We thought Tommy Edman was going to spend a majority of his time in center field, but after Gavin Lux was traded in January, Jerry, Edman appears to be locked in as the primary second base, and he has won a Gold Glove there.
And here's the thing. There's a reason why you get athletes. You sign guys like Kike Hernandez, Tommy Edman, Mookie Betts, because you can play these guys virtually anywhere. Tommy Edman, like you mentioned, John, won a Gold Glove at second base. But what's really important, Tommy Edman can get some familiarity with Mookie Betts. Those guys can have a rapport early on in the season, and hopefully they gel and make Mookie's job a whole lot easier at shortstop. So good to have a veteran guy with experience and a guy who's thrived up the middle like Tommy Edman.
And when Tommy Edman starts there at second base, Jerry, the big question is who's going to be in center field for the Dodgers? The answer could be a number of different people. Who do you think?
I think you start Kike Hernandez to start. I think he has shown, obviously, last postseason, really the second half of last season and in the postseason and in spring training, that he's earned the lion's share in center field. That says, I think Pages gets some starts there because he really came on in the postseason, hit some huge home runs, especially in that Mets series. Hopefully Pages gets some starts there. Listen, James Outman, he's still working on his swing. I think he needs to go down to AAA. That is my humble opinion because I want Outman to thrive as a big leaguer. Anytime you're young and you're working on that swing change, it can be difficult doing it at the big league level. It's a lot easier doing it at AAA, finding your footing a little bit, and then when you get some burn, you never know what happens in the big leagues, then you get back to the big leagues hot, ready to go. So right now, I think Kike gets the lion's share, Edman at second, Kike in center, and then Pages, depending on the starter in center.
Well, because of that incredible offseason the Dodgers front office was able to put together once again, they didn't have a lot of question marks coming into this spring, Jerry, but if there's anything left that you would like to see answered, what would it be?
Wow. Now I'm really nitpicking. Listen, we always want to make sure that we want to have the best possible team heading in the postseason. So I want to wait, John. Okay, we got time.
So in other words, you don't have any questions still to be answered at this point.
Wait a second. I want to make sure these guys understand that we still have that trade deadline. So we got to make sure we're firing on all cylinders heading into that trade deadline, and then we make a move. But heading into the season, I like where we're at, starting pitching-wise. Obviously, the bullpen, we have some guys that are injured right now. We're going to get these guys back, but we have enough there, especially with Tanner Scott, Vesia, and crew. The dogs are still out there. We're looking pretty good, John. I think 1 through 9, bullpen, the bench, we should win some ball games early on in the season.
That's why you did predict 115 wins for the Dodgers here in 2025, regular season. 2 exhibition games on Saturday in Japan, but the next time you're going to see us here in studio will be before Tuesday's opener in Tokyo. Dodgers and Cubs, 3 a.m. on Sportsnet LA for you night owls. Our pregame coverage begins at 2 a.m. We will be right here. Kirsten with the team in Japan. We'll have the introductions, all of the pageantry for Shohei, Yoshi, and Roki's return to Japan. Should be a really special night, and we are officially about to begin our 12th season here at Sportsnet LA. Around 5,000 studio shows. We've seen nearly 1,100 Dodger wins, Jerry, 2 World Series titles. We've had a ton of laughs. Here's to many, many more of them. Boy, I look a lot younger there.
You sure do look younger. Who is that dude right there?
Oh, my gosh, what a baby.
Wow. You kidding me? I loved Oral's moss back in the day. Oral had that great moss.
Nomar days. Oh, the Austin Barnes called shot. World Series championships.
Well, we had some fun, haven't we?
We have had an incredible time. We've had a lot of bloopers, some Dodger wins. We've had a parade, Jerry. The parade was one of my favorite days here as a network, and that's saying something because we've had a lot of great days. But you can just tell by watching this how much fun we've been able to have.
And the fans out there don't get a chance to see the people behind the scenes.
Incredible group.
Our crew behind that really making all the magic happen, making us look good, especially this idiot right here. You guys are second to none. It's so fun coming to work every single day, every single night. You guys are special.
Yeah.
What a time.
That's what I tell people all the time. This is the greatest place to work because of the people behind the scenes and everybody being just so much fun to work with. For Kirsten and Jerry, I'm John. That does it for Cactus League play. We're going to see you bright and early 2 a.m. next Tuesday.
今日の佐々木朗希投手は球速は最速156キロと普段よりも少し出ていませんでしたが、それでも完璧な投球内容でしたね。それにしても四球0で4回を投げ切れたというのは本人にとっては大きな自信となるはずです。これで開幕第1戦は山本由伸投手、第2戦は佐々木朗希投手が確定し、日本開幕シリーズは日本人祭りが確定です。カブスは今永投手、鈴木誠也選手も出場に向け日本に出発いたしました。今週末のエキシビション、火曜の開幕戦が本当に楽しみですね。シーズン中も日本人選手の活躍にフォーカスしお届けしてまいりますのでぜひお楽しみに。それでは次回の動画でお会いしましょう。さようなら。